trying to have a conversation with you. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Are you listening? Do you hear me? 'Cause I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Introspection. This is a deep conversation for us.
It's a deep, often had conversation for us because my sister's brain is crazy and she thinks
I
mine
think it's
is.
normal.
You think your brain is normal?
I think
Is
it's
that what you
average
said?
for a millennial. I do.
Are you? I don't even understand that. So there's a whole bunch of you out there that think like this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
that's
I might be
wild.
kind of way on the spectrum, but yeah, I think a lot of us are like that.
That's Now I'm gonna ask you a question that I ask you all the time, so the audience can get a glimpse on how a little bit of how my brain works. Millennials, what age bracket is that? Because I never keep up with it, and you know that.
Oh my gosh. So it's not like, I don't know. I don't think it's like really finite. You know what I mean? Some people are just like, oh, exactly this year. I feel like if you were born very late 70s, I say 79, you might be on the cusp. So I'll say 80 to 95-ish to me is
Those are
millennials.
millennials.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
it's just so crazy to me because I don't feel like I was that far off. I mean, like,
Mhm.
obviously I was born before 1980, but I just
Yeah.
feel like it shouldn't make that big of a difference, but it's wild to hear you say, yeah, this is how most people that are my age bracket, millennials, think. And I'm gonna ask you another question. What am I considering my age bracket?
Oh, Gen X. Like Gen
Gen
X
X.
completely too.
Okay.
You don't remember in the 90s when they used to be like Gen X, Generation X, like that was like the thing for y'all. And I
I
used to be like,
mean,
that sounds cool.
I never said it though, so that's why
I
I
know
was
you
like,
never said
next.
it. You didn't care about much things like that. I don't.
Little glimpse of how my brain works. So yeah, I never keep up with that, but like it just doesn't seem like I was that far off. I almost feel like I was like on the cusp of being either one. But to hear you say like, yeah, this is how most millennials my age think, I'm like, that's incredible. And I don't understand how y'all survive.
I mean, and I would love to be corrected if I'm wrong, but I just know a lot of people my age bracket who have so much going on. I think we invented the word anxiety. We're like, oh my God, I have so much anxiety. Like we ran that. Although Gen Z is taking it over, baby. They were like
Well,
triggered,
they
triggered anxiety, all the things. But
so
we definitely
triggered
started being like, this
all the
makes me
things.
anxious. Are you anxious? I'm anxious right now. We're anxious? Okay. But yeah.
All right. So we're talking a lot about of how our brains work, but let's give some definition and some parameters around it. Can we talk about the Oxford definition of what introspection means so that people can understand what it is that we're talking about?
Yes. So I'm going to read this off here. Introspection is the process of looking inward to examine your own thoughts, feelings, and mental processes for self-understanding, crucial for personal growth, mental wellness, and aligning actions with values. That's I believe the Oxford definition of it.
To add to the definition was it's a simplistic way of explaining it is looking and examining your own thoughts, your feelings, your motives, basically thinking about thinking and doing reflection to better understand why you think what you think and why you feel what you feel.
Did that sound like Chinese to you? You had no idea what that means?
The part
Do you
about
connect to
thinking
any
about
of those?
thinking sounded very random to me.
That's the
Not
part I was
doing
like,
that.
oh, Monique, they lost her. They lost her right there.
Sorry. My son is sick and
Yeah.
his dad just came in to show me he had just popped a fever. So I was telling him what to give him. We're trying to have a conversation here.
Hence, what we just did the episode talking about why we started that. You can never finish a sentence.
No. Which is okay, because I know he's sick. So
Yeah,
this is one of those things that
yeah,
you just kind of go, and we let our
yeah,
people into our life like this. So
yeah.
you were asking me, did
That's
that sound like
reality.
Chinese to me? Um, th- the thinking about thinking sounded very foreign to me, but go ahead, explain a little bit more from your perspective.
So, well, I want to talk about how this first started for us because I remember I brought this up to you one time and asked you, "Oh, Monique, you ever thought about what, just kind of like, I didn't even have the word for it, introspect, but I was like, think about, stuff and just like having conversations with yourself in your head." And you're like, huh? And then I heard an episode on This American Life, that podcast, um, where I believe it was like a producer and one of the hosts that was discussing the fact that she was having the same conversation me and you had, where she was like, "Oh, do you introspect?" And she's like, "No." And this is where we got into what our brains, or this is what they described, and it was like a perfect description for us about what our brains seem like. So I concur with the host who says that her brain is similar to a washing machine. And you were more like the producer of that show that said, what was your brain like?
It is more like a video camera. If it's not going on right now, I don't need to be thinking about it, because I'm not dealing with it right now.
And I don't even know how a brain can function in that way. I don't even know what that's like. So,
Here's the thing. I will say, like, it's not to offer some clarity. People, I don't want you to assume like this person is so self-centered that I just go on with, like, if it's not in front of me, I could care less about what's going on in the world. That's not what I'm saying. But the idea of a washing machine of thoughts in your brain, which we'll talk about in a little more detail, is overwhelming. Has it happened to me before? And I explained to you this in that conversation. It has. But when it has
yeah.
happened, it is because I am very stressed. Something major is going on in my life, and I'm not being able to, I'm trying to manage it essentially. So it is born out of full stress for me. So to live like
Hmm.
that, for me to translate, it means that I've got to be fully stressed all the time. In order
Wow.
for me to organize my life, I have to deal with things very compartmentalized. And it's funny because now, since we've had this conversation a couple times, I have looked into people saying that, and I've seen it a lot referred to more as men tend to think very compartmentalized, whereas women think kind of everything at once. And I don't think I don't do that. But I do think with forethought. So, simplistic example. I know when I'm cooking breakfast in the morning, I only have so many skillets to use for the day, essentially. So if I use my skillets, a bunch of them in the morning, making a big breakfast or something, I have the forethought to think, oh, I got to make sure I run a dishwasher load so that this evening when I go to cook dinner, I have skillets for the evening meals, that kind of thing. But I'm not going to think about, I wonder at the same time that I'm cooking eggs that morning, what happened 5 years ago when I was on an airplane with somebody and I was talking to them about my skillets. I wonder what they thought about me. I don't care. It's gone. So that's
So,
where I think the introspection for me stops.
and I am working on that. I mean, I'm working on being present in the moment because I actually say I'm jealous of that, to be able to be present in the moment. There's so many times, I'm in the middle of like, you know, being at my kid's baseball game and my mind is just running. And it's not just, there are a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of times. There's something that I was thinking about the other day and I said, you think about this every day since high school. And I'm not joking with you. That's probably a mental illness. But every day since high school, there's something that had like constantly been on my mind. I'm like, dang, I should have said that. I should have said this. Yeah. And you know what? And I don't want to put people out here. I'm just saying there is other millennials that I know who are like similar, like, yeah, girl, I don't know why the hell I did that shit like, like 2 years ago. That stressed me out.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm getting better at it. I'm not going to lie. I am getting better at it. I'm not, doing so much of the, doubting myself, like, getting on my case or anything like that. And sometimes I've learned to have humor with it where I'm just like, oh, like, girl, not today. Not today. Give me a minute. Yeah, I definitely. And it's not just when I'm saying I'm introspect, it's not just me thinking about things from the past. It's like constantly like future. Am I doing the right thing? Am I mothering the right way? Am I good enough at my job?
You
It's
won't know
just
until they're
it
30.
right, right.
You just do the best
So
that you can in the meantime and keep it moving. So, but well,
yeah.
let me add one other thing there, because what I found too when I was looking up, which offered some clarity for me, because introspection, when we've had this conversation, to me has always been, like you said, it's felt like Chinese to me. But another thing that I found was synonyms to introspection was soul searching and self-analysis. That's one thing that I do think I do, but again, I don't do it on an elongated time frame. If I am going to make a decision, I 100% will soul search and figure out why I'm wanting to make this decision. Pray about it so that I can feel like that I'm following the path that he has laid out for me for this decision. Find out I'm big on what's your why, no matter what you're doing, what's your why for doing it. And a lot of times I want to go deeper than the surface of why, meaning, like, example, when on my other podcast, Street Tales, when we talk about why did I become a cop, or when I've been guest on other people's podcasts, they've asked me, why was I a cop? And my thing is, I always say to them is just helping people was not enough for me. I didn't call it my why back then. But I knew in the moment of making the decision of this career path that helping people, I just want to help people. And I just want to help people was not enough. It's not sustainable, because human beings are naturally worried about themselves before anybody else. So you have to figure out a way to ask yourself, what is your specific why? And for me, my specific why was twofold. I wanted to make sure that I was someone who represented my family well in the career. I wanted someone who looked like me to wear the uniform. And I felt like people who looked like me that now saw me in uniform, I wanted to give them a different viewpoint when it came to law enforcement. So for me, that was a much bigger why, because it was more personalized. Even though it was a bit global, it was still more personalized because it was born out of experiences that my family had. It was born out of experiences that I had had before becoming a law enforcement officer. So it was a more personal why than I just want to help people. So that's where I say I do soul search when I'm doing big decisions. I do self-analyze if I've made a mistake with jobs when I've left, or when I've had, when I've gotten reprimanded at jobs because I'm not perfect. I have self-analyzed and been like, yeah. Or even when I've gotten in arguments with people, I've been like, yeah, I was a lot right then. That was on me, so I think you have to self-analyze. But what I tell you is, once I've self-analyzed, once I've soul searched, and I do make that decision to drive and do something, I don't typically, that's where I stop thinking about thinking. I'm like, all right, decision made, I'm out.
S- So what does that look like when you're talking about you soul search and be like, oh, did I make the right decision with my job? And, did I say the right thing in that argument? What does that look like for you? Like is there an inner voice? I'm sorry. Is there an inner voice in your head, or?
If it's born out of something that is stress, like if I get into a fight with somebody, like my family or something like that, it will manifest as a voice because I'm stressed out. But I don't normally hear a voice playing an audio in my brain. That only happens when I'm very stressed out. Typically it's like sounds crazy. It's like a feeling of reflection almost, but it's not a replaying of the argument. It's a feeling of reflection of almost the feelings, because I know when I'm in an argument, if I know Okay, what I just said was real bogus, but I'm gonna keep going with it anyways because I'm mad. I know it, and so I have that feeling of reflection, and I'll be like, you got to learn how to back down and stop being a jerk.
So you're like, I shouldn't have said that. And you're like, that's why your toenail curved.
Huh?
You know?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's funny to me because when you're saying that you hear that voice, like that inner monologue when you're extremely like stressed out. And I hear it all the time. So I'm like, does that mean I'm always stressed out?
Not for you. I don't think so.
Maybe for me.
I don't think it is for you because I've been around you and I've seen you even in your relaxed state and you telling me in your relaxed state what's going on in your brain. And I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah. It was a show well, not a show, it was like a little YouTube nonsense we watched where it was like adults doing things and the kids would make the voice for it. And the kids would, well, pretty much the adults were acting out what the kids were saying. And he's like, I have 5 minutes left in my brain. That's what I feel like all the time.
That's wild to me.
I have 5 minutes left in my brain. I mean,
Wild.
and that's funny because I'm like, I think about, you know, eh, I think I am like super careful. I have a friend that tells me, one of my best friends, she says, you're a benefit of the doubt motherfucker. That's what she tells me about myself. And I think about it because, and it's funny because we were having a conversation today and she's like, you're one of the few people in my life that if you don't like somebody, I automatically don't like them because you have vetted it so many times. I know that you were being like careful in the decision of disliking that person. Like you gave them so many chances, you gave them the benefit of the doubt. So there's no way in the world that you didn't like. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason why they're disliked. So I also don't like them. And I thought that was funny. But yeah, I do. Like if I think about things a lot, like was I right to dislike that person? Was I careful enough with my words with them? Did I do this wrong? And it can go, there's not anything that I don't kind of like mull over in my brain like all the time. So yeah, motherhood is big. That's the main one. Ever since I
Duh.
had kids, it just kicked it up a notch because I'm just like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I wonder if I screwed them up. They're gonna have therapy because of me, and I feel like they ain't
I
gonna
will
like me. They're
say,
not gonna visit on the holidays.
I understand motherhood creating that space in your brain for sure. I definitely understand that because like you just can't explain it to people until you have your own kids. You became a mom before me, and I thought I had a grasp on motherhood before I had a kid, and then I was like, this is wild. I always say kids are the equalizers. They will make you second guess every decision you do make. They will make your brain go places you didn't think that it would go. Um, and you have to, like, for me, I have to be aware of it. But at the same time, I motherhood from a space of like the video camera. What's happening right now to address? And I don't know, and I won't know the outcome of my parenthood until he is in his 30s and he's on his own. So there's no sense in me going now. I say that to say, do I recognize when I've made mistakes with him, when I've done things that I shouldn't or said things that I shouldn't or whatever? Yes, I do. I absolutely can recognize where I say when I get emotional and I realize that feeling of regret or that feeling of that occurs when you've done something or that feeling because I don't have the words playing. Sometimes I will when he stresses me out, but I will go back and say, I shouldn't have said whatever, so that introspection or soul searching piece does play in my parenting. But on a day-to-day basis, I do not evaluate my every decision that I make with my child to determine if I'm going to mess him up 20 years from now. Cause I mean, I won't know. I don't know.
What that's like. That sounds wonderful. Sound like Candyland. Sound like a vacation. Sound like a
I
vacation.
just,
I love that. Where I
I,
don't be like, what did I do? Why did I do? So I want to talk about what we've described. Like, we already talked about the washing machine and the video camera. Like, you're the video camera, you're just taking it in. And
Yeah.
I'm the washing machine. There's so much thoughts going
Can
around.
you can you please explain though a little bit more? Like a video camera. For me, what I see, um, and I feel like I'm taking it in high definition. So
Yeah.
I don't feel like I miss much as I'm taking in what it is I'm taking in, and I will catalog it for a short period of time. Um, we'll explain that. It will get cataloged for a short period of time if it's needed. I don't feel like that I think I'm still, even in the idea of a video camera, that I am intuitive to pay attention to people's feelings, to pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to words that people are saying. I work really hard that if someone's talking to me, to make sure that I am being in tune to them, because I was a negotiator when I was a deputy sheriff, and you have to not only listen to what the person's saying, you got to actively listen to what's meant behind it, the feelings behind it, the emotions, what can be implied. And I think that as I'm video cameraing, I don't want people to think like she's just looking at. I am, in my opinion, and you can please correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I am very intuitive to take a lot in, even though I'm just doing it as a video camera. Versus, can you first answer, do you think that interpretation of me is correct, my own self? And then secondly, can you explain a little bit more of what washing machining feels like?
Yes. I do agree with you. And I think it's funny because I think what's happening when you're taking in the moment, you are analyzing the moment in real time. I analyze the moment post the situation. So no, I in the same way, like I feel like maybe both of them could come off like we're dumb, like, oh, you don't know what's going on, or you're too caught up in your head. But I think no, I think we're both very intelligent people. I think you're very keen to people. You're like one of the people who easily latch on to you and easily talk to you because they feel like you're a safe place. You are very intuitive. You click in, you ask questions, you actively ask questions where you're like, well, what, I don't experience that. What does that feel like? I won't say that I don't take in the moment. I do, and I am really keen to people as well, but I think where my strength is after. So afterwards, I'm thinking, so yeah, I wonder if they were feeling nervous about that. And I wonder if that was going on and who was that? And maybe they didn't want to say that because of that, so that's me afterwards. So, but going back to what the washing machine looks like, I can't say, and I've heard people describe this of having multiple thoughts at once. I would not say they're multiple thoughts. They're just rapid fire. They're back to back to back to back. And one isn't always completed. I have to come back and circle back to the other one. Like an example, I mean, when we talked about waking up in the morning, we're very different in that way, right?
Yes.
I wake up in the morning, I hit the ground running. Damn
Insanity.
near, like, seriously. I hit the
Pa-
ground running. That alarm clock
Pause.
goes off, I don't hit snooze.
Hit the ground running with zero coffee, folks. She just wakes up that way. So a lot of people are like, oh, me too. But after I've had my cup of coffee, not her, just wakes up that
I
way.
don't do coffee. I don't
Nope.
do coffee at all. Yeah, that's just me normally. I don't hit the snooze button. I never do that. That I will never get up if I don't.
Insanity.
I go. And so
Crazy.
so yeah, when I get up in the morning, I'm immediately, okay, let me go wash my face, brush my teeth, go do this and then that, go get the kids. All right, let me see if you know what? They have their homework there and they need to do. I'm going to put that right there. I mean, that's kind of how fast it goes. And then same thing, by the time I'll be driving on the road, I'm already thinking about work. I'm already thinking about, and even in those moments where I'm already thinking about something that needs to get done, sandwiched in between that is, my friend was singing sad the other day. I wonder how she's doing. I'm going to check up on her. I'm going to send her a text message. You know what? I'm actually going to schedule a text message so it goes off at 8:00, and then I'll do that. Like, it's that quick. And I honestly can't even speak as fast as I think. So I can't even keep up with, I can't even do it how it really is. But it's constant and it's sandwiched in between real life. It's sandwiched in between what needs to get done. Um, it's crazy. And sometimes work can be a mental vacation for me because it's literally, I know what I'm supposed to do. It's the same thing. There's not a lot of variables. I mean, there is, but I know what to do with those variables very easily. So it's like almost like a mental vacation because I'm like, oh, well, if I do this, it's just like this and this like that. I love having that set of rules around it. In my own personal life, I don't have rules. I mean, I do, but I'm just saying I don't have like, it's not a certain set thing. So I'm like, oh, I'm the one who has to figure it out. There's no handbook to look back on. So,
Nope.
yeah, I'm like, oh, so, and sometimes, I mean, I do like write things down that I know or like keep it in my notes or something where I'm like, we're going to need to get back to this. So the washing machine, it just goes and it's on for a long time. Now, one thing I will be thankful of, because I know so many people who have this issue, I am not an insomniac. That's my one, like, oh, I am so glad. I am not an insomniac and I do not have a hard time going to sleep.
So funny.
I get me some rest. Now, I will go to bed late. That's something like, you know what I mean? Um, Other than that, like, it doesn't like people are like, they'll hit the pillow and that's when they start introspecting. And I'm like, oh no, too late. You lost me earlier. Too late. All done. I'm done.
All done. I find that so funny because, and this is for the audience, me and my sister vacationed together, and that's where I discovered that she's like a light switch when she wakes up. And I am the very opposite. My brain needs time. I used to say I gotta have time to warm up, and she'd want to start talking. And I'm like, shut up. But the funny thing is, once I do warm up, I'm warm, 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 warm until the engine just cuts off. And then I'm going to go, that means I'm asleep. It's gone.
And it's
But
annoying the way she does that.
she has ebbs and flows because her brain is never stopping. She's like, okay, I'm up, 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 up. Oh, I need a little downtime. Now I'm up, 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 up. I'm like, and me, I'd be like, let's go to the gym. You ready to work out? No, leave me alone, Monique. And I'm like, what's your problem? Fine, I'll go to the gym without you. She's like, good. So
No, Monique. And don't try to make it seem like it's ebb and flow. It's 5 to 7. That is my point.
the day's
5 to
not over.
7. Yeah, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
But I
Done.
want to point out,
That-
ladies and gentlemen, it is currently 5:45 our time right now. So she is real mad at us for having to record right now.
Got me during my witching hour.
We better hurry,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. So
That's
I
when
just
I
want you to
identify.
expand on that, though. That's what you
Yeah.
identify as what?
That's when I identify with people in the morning where they're like, oh, like having, like, I need my coffee or I just need to rev up for the day. That's me. I have to power down. Like, I need to go in like sleep mode or something, like a computer is like, all right. Like, so many things have
Wild.
happened. I had to take, you know what I mean? I have to decompress from all these things that has happened today. Good,
It's
bad, and
insanity.
otherwise.
Well, I think
Yeah.
that leads us back to the actual inner workings of the way our brains work.
Okay. Yeah.
And when we talked about the way our perspective, I feel like, is the washing machines and the video cameras, that led us into talking a little bit more about, so how does your brain work, Monique, and the differences? And
Yeah.
when you explained, gave a reference, a real world example as to what your brain was like, my jaw dropped. So go ahead and tell us and explain it.
So I describe my mind like New York Stock Exchange. It is constant motion, constant movement, like bidding for attention and who needs the most attention. And like, this is serious. No, it's not. I have so many things going on out there and so many memories collected. Because that's another thing that I introspect about. Just random memories will pop up and be like, yeah, I remember that one time I was eating the bubble gum and I almost choked. Like, just random. So constant. Just like that's my brain at all times. And your brain,
Wild.
Monique.
My brain is a very large building. There is a receptionist that sits up front. Quite often, there's nothing on her desk, maybe a computer at times. She is not going crazy. It is very calm. She has files, but it's just one file cabinet. And for the most part, she doesn't just pull random stuff out at any point in time. I will say, this is where I'm going to get on my soapbox a minute. Doing the job of a law enforcement officer or a first responder creates the most awful memories in your brain that never go away. And that's the only time that she will just be like, hey, remember this? It's so awful for me. So I don't think that's why normal memories don't pop in like that. I have to dig for
Mm.
normal memories and be like, oh, well, wait a minute. That does sound familiar. And then I always joke with my sister. She'll go, okay, let me go look for it. And she'll go to her file cabinet. She'll pull it out and go, here it is. But it's just her. There's not a lot of screaming and yelling going on there. It's a calm situation. Even in times of chaos, she gets really calm. And when chaos is going on, she's like, you need to do this first. She's like writing a list. Do this next. Now do this. I mean, like she don't get spun up about a lot. Mm-mm.
Must be nice. Must be real nice.
To hear the
'Cause
explanation of a New York Stock Exchange all the time, like I'm trying to think back now in a place in my brain where I've had that feeling. And I can't even say like, obviously I've seen craziness with being a cop and I've been involved in craziness. Even in those moments, I don't feel that. Because to me, it feels chaotic. And I know for you, I don't know if it
agreed.
does.
Yes. We're on the same page.
Okay. Very well.
I have to say too, like when I was a kid, now I'm like thinking now, even when I was a kid, I think I was like introspecting then. And that's why like one of the things, I think that's when we first started that conversation where I said, did your inner voice change with your age? And you were like, what the
Yes.
heck are you talking
I was
about?
like, what
I
inner voice?
remember when my inner voice sounded like a kid. And then it got older and older, and now it sounds like how I do now. And I'm just like, oh, wow, when I'm an old lady and I have that old crackly voice, is it going to sound like that up there? You know what I'm saying?
That's so
But
funny to me.
yeah, and then the other thing that I thought is funny that you thought was weird was that I can change my inner voice, like
Yeah.
not schizophrenic, but I could literally be like, I want to sound like Kermit the Frog right now. And I'm like thinking of Kermit the Frog or
Telling me that. And the only thing I could think of was the app that I used to give me directions, how you could change different voices on Waze. And I was like, I only do that to entertain myself. I couldn't live in my brain doing that.
same. Kasha,
Oh,
remember to go and bring the peas out of the freezer today and don't overcook the salmon.
oh my gosh.
Don't you overcook that salmon. Miss Piggy
That's
won't like it.
wild. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of
That
problems
was
going up there.
wild to me. Like,
Yeah.
and when you explained all like that part of hearing the voice and the like New York Stock Exchange part of it, it was just like I had so many questions because taking it in, I was just like, I wondered, was it chaotic for you? I wondered, was it stressful?
I think I'm highly morbid a little bit, and I think I always have been. I think one of the things that's why I was bringing up when I was a little kid, I used to be like, one day your memory is gonna fade. This is what I would tell myself as a kid. One day your memory is gonna fade. So like burn this in your brain. Remember,
My
remember, remember, remember. I even do that someday, like sometimes with our parents. I'll stare at them sometimes so I can be like, let me make sure I remember what they look like, or what their hands feel like. Just because, I just, think about everything and think about you. Nobody's forever. So
You know
yeah.
that's funny though that you bring that up because one of the differences I think because of the way our brains work and is that if I don't remember something, even though you're younger than me, I will call you and ask you, especially like names of people we haven't seen in a while or how
Yeah.
people are related that we haven't seen in a while or
Yeah.
things like that. And inevitably, I always say, "Look, Kasha's going to know. Let me ask Kasha." And it's funny because I should house the memories because I am that much older than you that
You're
I
like,
should
gosh, who
remember all
cousin
these
so and
things.
so?
But you know those things, which is so funny to me. But I think that goes hand in hand with remembering when I look back, like if I consciously try to think about high school for me, I remember some people, um, I will like in my brain, if I see their pictures, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that person. I remember I went to high school with that person. I may or may not remember their name. If I'm looking at a yearbook, I'll remember, you like put all the pieces together, but you don't need those prompts. You just are like, oh yeah, that's this person, or oh yeah, that's how this is gone. Or like, but at the same time, I will say, I've never, until you just said it right now, I've never worried about my memory fading, even though it does.
New fear unlocked.
It no, it's not unlocked for me.
No,
I can tell you right now.
it's like, if
It's
it
not.
fades, it fades. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I won't know if it fades. So I mean, hey, it is what it is.
that's like my worst fear.
Well, I look
So
at like now,
go
like
ahead.
there's a lot of things you ask me, and I'll be like, I don't remember that, Kasha, and you'll be like, Monique, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh yeah, that does sound familiar. Yeah, I kind of remember it. Yeah, it's coming back. Like it's there
Yeah.
somewhere. It'll come back.
And I vividly remember high school. There's some parts I wish I didn't, but I vividly remember high school. And all my best friends are from high school. So I think we too have a running tally. Like, you remember that time we did this thing? Like, so there's always like, we're always going, I can't forget. It
See,
won't
the
let me
the
forget.
people I hung out with in high school, especially like my senior year and stuff like that, I only have one of those friends that I talk to. I had other friends that grew up in the same neighborhood as me, but they went
Yeah.
to different schools or did different things, like that kind of thing. So we didn't have a lot of those kind of shared memories of high school.
Yeah. Yeah. But you have neighborhood memories. I
I
don't.
do.
I did. I had some neighborhood friends, but like, yeah, like y'all were like sandbox and still talk to each other. I don't really have that as
That's
much.
true. Yeah, my oldest friend, I've known her since I was 5.
Ooh.
Yeah. And now
You knew her before you knew me.
I know her.
Right.
She knew you from the day you were born.
Right.
She recently sent me pictures of you when you were 3 months old that she had.
Yeah. Right. I wonder if I was introspecting back then as a baby. Goo goo?
Feel it. I
Gaga.
feel like you probably
A
were.
baba boo boo boo. Dada? Yeah.
I feel like you probably were, which is wild to me. But I think that's the beauty
But
of like our brains working differently, that it creates these differences in our brains too, which I find
yes.
interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. I have a question for you as a
Ooh.
professional introspector. Okay.
As a
I have a question
non-professional,
for
go
you.
ahead.
Exactly, as an amateur. Um, I heard this question and I thought it was the strangest thing because I thought everybody experienced it. Reminded me of us being different, but I thought everybody had the same experience, and I'm realizing they don't. This is going to sound weird, and I
Okay.
will clarify it if it's hard to understand.
Okay.
Where are you present in your body? Where do you find, like, if you could just find where your soul sits in your body, or where your thoughts or your soul sits, where do you think you are in your body?
My immediate answer when you said that is heart. It sits like in the middle of my chest. That was my immediate thoughts and answers. Um, and I would say as I'm rolling that question around, because I'm thinking of physicality. Like if you were to physically remove it, I feel like it would be right about the middle of my chest, like sitting maybe not in my heart, but next to it, so that it could make sure that that was where it consulted first.
Interesting. And I thought that's so funny because, like, when I saw this question being posed, there were people who said they found that they resonate with being in their own gut. Like they're like, yeah, right here and feeling like, oh, this is where I am. This is where all my feelings and my thoughts come from. Some people said right there in their brain. Some people said in their chest, like you said. I resonate with this. Well, actually, like kind of like this. Like
Oh,
wherever, yeah, my brain, I don't think we all right. But right here, it's like, I think because it's like my mouth and heart. And
huh.
yeah. So I feel like all the things, my soul sits right there. I thought that was the strangest thing that we don't all experience it the exact same way.
I think
Like,
that is interesting. And I
is
would have
somebody
thought
in
it
their
would have
toe?
been, I thought it would have been limited to either heart or head.
Yeah.
So to hear gut, that's
That blew
very
me.
strange.
Yeah. I think too, my mouth and like right here, it has a lot to do. And I feel my emotions right here when I well
Oh,
up, when I get angry, like it's right there. It's like, ugh, like, yeah. So I thought that was very strange. Um,
I'm taking it in to hear like your
yeah,
emotions even are housed here.
yeah.
That's
hmm
very,
hmm
see,
There's times where I've gotten angry and I've kind of like been in the middle of saying something and like I'm cut off from speaking because I'm so angry.
oh,
And I'm like, I feel
yeah,
like it's just such a squeeze of emotions. Like there's times when I'm crying. When I'm excited, I feel like this, like, like right there. Yeah. It's all right there.
that's
Maybe
so
it's my throat.
interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's your throat
What
and
do you
that's
feel
it.
like when you're excited? When you're excited, where you feel it?
Um, I feel excitement. I feel like in my belly. Um, but I feel anger. I feel like I feel anger kind of in my heart. And I feel, this sounds weird, but I feel like I feel love kind of like it would be up here, like, oh,
It's funny. Yeah, I
but
feel
for sure,
love like
excitement's in my
it's right
belly.
there. Yeah. Well, that's where anxiety goes for me at
No,
all
thank
times.
you.
It's like, she's like, oh, it used to be bad because it used to be like, you're not eating. We're anxious.
Jesus.
I'm
Ugh.
like, whew.
Lady, calm
So
down.
this is more of a comment that I've been thinking. I was introspecting, thinking
Boy,
about, I think the brain is a tool. And I don't say that in a way of like, I can use it. I mean it in a disrespectful way. Like that guy's a fucking tool.
okay.
I'll explain
Please do.
because I explain that by saying the brain is not as useful as it sounds like it should be. Like,
Okay.
yeah. I say that because like it does things that I don't know that it's doing. Like it doesn't
Like,
consult with me. It starts doing stuff. Sends sends messages places where he's like, nah, that bitch don't need to know. Fuck her. Like,
I mean, there's some things
or
that are good that it does that
or
way.
it knows stuff. It knows, and it won't tell me. Like, oh, okay, like
Elaborate.
you have an imbalance somewhere in your liver. Bitch, can you let me know? You knew that. You fucking asshole. You just been sitting on that information.
Just waiting for you to get a blood
Uh,
test.
Go get your blood work, hoe. I don't care.
I mean, do what you're supposed to do. Do your job.
And the other part is that you have to like actively fight with it. And I say that for people who are mentally healthy. I don't even categorize myself as the mentally healthiest person, but even mentally healthy people have to fight with their brain. They're like, oh, I should exercise,
Uh-huh.
like, should do
That's
it. And your
exactly what
brain's
I
like,
was thinking.
nah, bitch, sit on that couch. No, knowing that it's unhealthy, like it's smart enough to know it's not the right decision. And you're like, I wouldn't do it if I was you. Fuck that. Healthy?
I don't want to do healthy.
Yeah, you know. And like, and in some ways, like it's a bad influence. Your brain is a bad influence.
That is true. It can be a bad influence. That is true.
Like shit. Like you be sitting there, and be like, oh, I shouldn't do that. You sure? Because I like fries. I know it don't do nothing for me, but fries be good, don't it?
They do.
Shut up.
Or potato chips or ice cream.
And the fact that it can talk you into things where, like, on a serious note, there are things where people actively fight with their brains
Yeah.
to not hurt themselves. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's crazy.
I'm just like, what is and I've heard people say about how, oh, we're using this certain percent of our brain. I'm like, what's the blockage? What's the blockage? I need to get back to using more percent. I don't want 100 maybe, but some more percent. Cause this motherfucker we don't communicate. And when it do, it be rude. It be the wrong shit.
I have recently, I was just reading a study, and I don't want to quote it wrong, that says that idea that we only use like 10% of our brain is not true. I have to bring the
Yeah.
article up when we come back next time, but that we use a lot more of our brain than was previously in years past suggested. But I don't know if it's 100% still because I don't remember diving into the article and reading that part of it.
Yeah, that's my take on it. I just think the brain is a tool, and I don't mean that as a compliment. Like, fuck
Until
you,
you put it in
motherfucker.
in that perspective, now I see what you mean. I was like, damn, it's aggressive
Yeah,
with your own brain. But
yeah,
I mean, that, like you said, there's some people who fight with their brain every day to
yeah,
survive,
yeah.
so I can definitely see that. Such an
I think,
interesting.
yeah, and I want to get into this in another episode, but I think
Yeah,
I like the idea of brain hacks. Like, I think I hacked my brain a while back, and I started telling, like, kind of like naming the negative part of my brain, not the realistic part of my brain, but the negative part that really it didn't serve me. And I was just like, you're a bitch. Okay? We're not doing that.
we're not
Fuck
doing
you.
that. You're not talking rudely to me today.
You don't talk rude to me. No, because you're going to be you're fat and everybody, like, imagine already being an introspector. And then you got
My
a motherfucker, you got bad thoughts about yourself. You're fat. Everyone thinks you're stupid.
At the New York Stock
And
Exchange, she's waving that around. Stop.
everyone thinks you're dumb and red is not your color. Okay, bye, bitch.
See why I only have one lady at my place? That's why.
Too much going on. Too much
Because I'll
going
tell
on.
her quick, you can get fired.
I know, right? Don't
I'll
play.
bring somebody else in.
I'm finna say, how you gonna do it? You gonna be brain dead? Damn.
No, I'll bring in another part of my. She's fired. Next,
Another brain cell up
another
front.
brain cell comes up. Next, bye. Just like that.
That is hilarious.
I love this. This is a
I love
conversation we've had a
this.
lot of times, but it's just always, I learn something new every time we talk about it. It's amazing.
Yes. I want to switch gears a little bit. We've been talking about introspection, but I wanted to introduce one of our segments because we're going to start having our little fun little segments in there.
I love it.
And so today's segment is, what are we watching? Monique, do you want to go first?
I will go first. And you know
Go
why?
ahead.
Ironically, this one goes along with what we've been talking about today, just
Interesting.
haphazardly. I have started watching a show called The Copenhagen Test. And
Yeah.
it comes on Peacock, and I think you can watch it on Prime Video, but it's
Mhm.
categorized as spy fiction. But the story is about a guy who was a sniper in the military during some kind of military deployment, and I don't remember what it was. And when he came back, they brought him in as an intelligence agent, and now he works in this area of the government called the orphanage. And it's basically top secret intelligence that they are looking at because they are evaluating the other top secret agencies like the CIA, the FBI. They are kind of their big brother overlooking their shoulder, but those agencies don't know they exist. So the orphanage is a secret intelligence agency that is kind of overseeing the main intelligence. But the caveat in this one is the main character, his brain has been hacked. Ironically, when you said you hacked your brain, I was like, wait, what does that mean? His brain has been hacked by bad guys, or not bad guys, the other side, we'll just say, because we don't know who they are just yet. And so that they have hacked his brain so they can see and hear everything that he sees and hears. So all of the intelligence that he is seeing and hearing, they see and hear. And
That's crazy.
once he has found out, his agency also found out, and they are trying to figure out a way to allow his brain to continue to be hacked so they can leverage and figure out who has hacked his brain. So that's the gist of it. So Peacock, if you're out there, if you
Yeah.
want to throw it in here, throw a commercial in, we'll let that happen. So get with us. But
Yeah.
I am finding the show to be very interesting because of the plot twist of it, because of the way that they are trying to orchestrate figuring out who has hacked his brain. And then generally speaking, he does a lot of introspection because he's always worried about what they're seeing. So
New fear unlocked. Are they hacking my
it's
brain now?
you won't know, so let it go. Keep it moving. So that's what I'm watching right now, and I've gotten very I think season 1 is out entirely. I don't know if season 2 is out, but I have been watching a lot, and I'm like, I want to rewatch it with somebody who can talk about it with me.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm down. I'm a join in.
that's what I'm watching right now.
Well, I'm watching 3 different shows. Well, actually, I'm watching 4 shows. Um, Elsbeth. It's about a lawyer. She's a consent decree. Making sure the police are following the rules, doing the right thing, and she ends up being really the main one solving the cases. All of them are like murder cases. Um, she is such a like campy kind of person. Like she dresses outrageous. She carries 3 bags. One of the biggest mysteries on the show for me is like, what the hell does she need 3 bags for? What is inside the 3 bags? Is one her gun bag? One supposed to be for like papers? What's going on? Like, I love it. But me and my daughter watch it, and she thinks like, first off, I think it's adorable, but she thinks Elsbeth has so much style. Elsbeth dress outrageous. I respect it, but my daughter's like, I love her clothes. I love her clothes, mom. Okay.
Love her.
So, short of it being inappropriate, I will always watch it with my daughter. So that's one thing. And she's 8, so she likes like mystery and figuring out things. So I love that. Um, Also a similar show, you got me on this. I was gonna take credit, but I was like, let me just let her have her credit. High Potential. I've completely caught up on High Potential.
It's a good
Love
show.
that show. Yeah, I'll let you explain it since you the one who introduced me to it.
That one is it's a cop drama, and again, it's a consultant base like Elsbeth. Sidebar: before we move on, I started watching a couple episodes of Elsbeth, incorporated my husband to watch it with me, and let me tell you how those 3 bags she carries around is his hot button. Why does she have those bags? What is she doing? That is the dumbest. Nobody would ever do that. She would not take her serious. The Elsbeth has become a full comedy for me because when I watch it, I know it's going to set him off. And specifically those 3 bags. We just watched an episode a couple days ago, which was an old one. It was a Halloween episode where she was dressed like My Fair Lady in like 5 different outfits. Frank was so mad. So angry to another level. This is ridiculous. And she has all those dumb bags. When she had that giant hat on and she would turn her head and hit people, he's like, I'm done. So great.
He couldn't handle
High
it.
Potential is similar in the respect that the lady is a consultant who is not a cop, and she's brought in because she was cleaning the police station and looking at a case that they had up on a wall and basically was like, y'all got this wrong, and left them notes to solve the case. So they
Right.
bring her in. On top of it, she has no money and she's got a bunch of kids. And she dresses, again, outrageous. Hers is just a little sexier than Elsbeth.
Yeah.
But she is very smart, and so as a result, you get a chance to see her life, because of the way her brain operates. Another brain, how it impacts her life with her children, how it impacts her life in relationships, and then in turn, how it is used in a positive manner with her interacting with law enforcement and figuring out people and why they did it. So it's really, I like it. And there's a backstory of one of her loved ones is missing, and I don't want to give everything to people.
Yeah.
And so while she's working with the police, she's working this parallel investigation to find this person that she loves. And it's super interesting.
Yes, I do. Like, I'm fully caught up now. So yeah,
Love
on
it.
both of them. They're so similar though. Also, I'm watching 2nd season of Fallout. That's on Amazon Prime. That one it's actually based on a video game. Um, Pretty much season 1 was when you realize these people are in these bunkers. They were, I guess that, getting away from this nuclear explosion that happened, nuclear war. And then in so many years, they're supposed to come out and repopulate the world and be, living a normal life. And then we find out that everything is not as it seems. Season 2, we really get into the understanding of like, it felt the main character is a girl. Um, and she's just been disillusioned, and it reminds you a lot of like the 50s and like, this perfect little life, and that perfect little life has just like fallen apart for her. But it's interesting because she's like, even though like she grew up in a bubble, she's kind of like a badass. So she'd be like, but she also at the same time balances where she's like, can we talk about it, guys? And they're like, bitch, we're over here eating people. Shut up. So she's both. She's kind of a badass. She will fight. She will scrap. She'll stand up to people, but at the same time, she's like, well, gosh darn it. Like she won't even say too many bad words.
Shoot.
Shoot.
Dadgummit.
Exactly. And then I'm watching this show Under Duress. I think my brain needs to finish the show. It's called Billionaire Bunker. Not a fan. I'm trying to wait until it gets to a point where it makes sense. I think they were so like, it's a show that has a lot of people who are visually pleasing. Don't get me started, okay? Because we could go on forever. I love beautiful people. There's nothing wrong with being beautiful. But when you lean completely in being a beautiful person and not your acting skills, drives me nuts. Or if you have so much Botox in your face that you can't show an emotion, drives me nuts. So let me just tell you what it's about. There's these rich people. They've been led to believe they are in a end of the world situation. They have to get into these bunkers. They're going to be living in this spa-like bunker, and everything is not as it seems. And it's a lot of twists and turns. If you want to watch it, you can watch it, but just be ready for parts where people are just leaning into their beauty. Like, I know you think I'm a bad guy, but I'm also sexy. Don't forget how sexy I can be. Even though I'm a jerk, I'm a sexy jerk.
This sounds like a soap opera.
It's really ridiculous. And I mean, it has a good story, but some of the acting just blows me away where they're just like, don't forget, I'm also a sexy man. I'm like, what? That had nothing. And the rate that someone can fall in love with a person just because they were sexy just drives me nuts. I'm like, he didn't even say nothing.
Even though it sucks, you continue to watch it?
I started it, and I have this big thing another brain thing where it's like, well, you got to finish it. You started it.
No, you don't.
Don't.
No, you don't.
And I'm actually hoping it comes around to like a really good story in the end, because it does it does have a reason for why things are not as it seems. I don't want to give too much away if you want to watch it, but yeah.
I find that hilarious. That's where our brains are different, because when my brain is like, that's stupid, my girl's like, don't turn that on. If you turn it on, I'll make you go to sleep. So go ahead. I don't care.
For real.
I love it. I will say I'm super interested in Fallout because it's been popping up on my Amazon Prime, and you're not the only person who's told me it's really good. I want to say Tyler and BJ were talking about Fallout, or maybe it was Tyler talking to me about Fallout. In any event, I'm interested, but I'm wrapped in the Copenhagen test right now, so
I might be following behind you.
I'm fully invested. You should do it. It's good. I'm telling you, it's so good. And every episode, like, there's a new layer. You figure out something new. Like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. So was he destined to be in this? Or yeah, it's good.
See,
so
that's
what I'm watching right now.
Yeah, I'm hooked already. We could do this all day long.
We could,
and all night, but we got plenty of stuff that y'all could introspect on. But don't forget to follow us on socials. We are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any other, we'll work on the X and all that stuff.
And listen to us on whatever your podcast preference is, because we are on all of them. YouTube is our main one. It makes it easiest for you to watch, but we are on whatever platform that you are looking for your podcast. We're there.
Yes. And please comment, share, chat with us, inbox us, send us some hate mail. We looking for it.
Email address trying to the number 2 have a convo at gmail.com, and you can link to our podcast at streettalesnetwork.com.
Yep. And all the socials is trying the number 2 have a convo. So on IG, on TikTok, same way. But for now, I'm Kasha, and that's Monique, and this
And
conversation is
conversation is
over.
over.
Bye.